Miss Esther was simply doing way too much. This girl does not represent London. She cannot speak for everybody in London. You were doing the most. Why are you on this episode again? I don't know.
There's a lot of people in London who are women who have had it, but they shy away. In terms of the society that I live in London, where I come from, in London, no, girls are doing it for a lifestyle. Do you understand? More men with your mentality in London, I think there'll be a lot of more girls. Whereas in London, you're stripping, unacceptable.
Hey guys, it's Maradi. Hope you guys are all doing well today. So we have the brand new episode of Bkchat Nyc. And before we dive deep into those storylines, because there's plenty of different things to talk about, I do want to just add a few more words and thoughts to last week's nonsense that took place when some of the cast, well, half the cast tried to drag me and they just completely failed. Ewan did DM me and he said to me that he thought Flea was out of order. He was very upset about it, and he also did not want me to stop reviewing the show. So that was appreciative. Thank you very much. But I thought I'd let you guys know. I won't share the messages because obviously it's private DM, but I will let you guys know about the basis of the messages. And then Bkchat messaged me as well, and she said that she was very sorry and it was all love and she didn't mean to have any hate, and that she really wants me to keep reviewing the show as well. Shade no tea. No shade, no damn tea, but I find that message a bit weird, simply because less than 24 hours ago you were doing secondary school gang year 7 mentality, not even year 9, year 7 mentality in the comments box to Flea's posts, and then you're suddenly in my DM saying sorry, and then after the message you're still liking his posts that were in affinity to me and dragging me. So I'm thinking to myself, why are you apologising but then you're liking it, but then after that you're liking his post? It just seems weird to me. I feel like the apologies weren't really real. Not that I need an apology, like it's totally cool, like I don't need apologies, absolutely fine. But I was just like, clearly Andy or anyone must have checked you and told you, listen, you can't be doing that. You tried to put that video up to try to drag me, and then within 24 hours you point a video up to say sorry. Obviously the backlash came through. Everybody was in the comment box, I saw it, and even the comment box of the videos that you lot went through. Much appreciative. I didn't ask for that, but I'm very, very, very thankful and grateful for the support, more than you guys think or know. So I do, I'm so appreciative of that. But I do find some of the apologies weird. Like, how can you be dragging me and doing the absolute most? Year 7 mentality, secondary school gang, and then within 24 hours you're saying sorry. Like, then why did you do it? Obviously you must have got told off. It is what it is. That's what you get for acting ridiculous and unprofessional. And it has taken a huge toll on, I wouldn't say them dragging me has taken a huge toll, but whatever I said about the show actually is happening. Like, I do sometimes speak into fruition. When my initial review of the New York trailer came out, I did say that this show would lose its essence, as they're doing this probably too soon. And it's losing its essence as a show, I feel like. And in the long duration, if it keeps on using this as a way to get the viewers, then in time it will lose viewers, it will lose the audience, it will lose the appeal. I just feel like that's coming now to me, and at one point I was happy for Bkchat Nyc, but now I'm thinking, is it too soon? And what do we have here? Within 1 hour they couldn't even get 1,000 views. I'm not even trying to drag the show, but I'm just looking at it through stats, and the stats are most definitely foreboding. They tell you a lot, and for what I'm seeing when it comes to the views, it's a bit weird. Like, I feel like the show, as the episodes go along, the interest will be lost in time. So I just thought I'd let you know my further thoughts of what happened last week, and the fact that I do find some apologies a bit weird. You're doing the most. That comment that she made, and she went in on me, and then she's obviously liking his comments, telling him, dragging him and so forth. Then she's suddenly in my DMs saying apologies, and then she's still liking his posts after she apologized. You're clearly not completely sorry, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely fine. Don't need an apology, but I do appreciate it still. And nothing, as I said plenty of times, nothing is personal from my side. It's just a flipping review. But I've also said that if I continue to see what I saw last week, then I will completely stop reviewing the show, point blank, period. Because these times I'm probably the only damn reviewer of Bkchat Nyc. I don't think anybody else is reviewing this. I'm here watching this, I'm writing notes in my, not notes as an essay, just like quick 2-3 words on my phone, and I'm out here taking my time to review the damn show, then I have to go and edit it, and then I have to go and process it, and after you process it you have to wait to upload it, and so forth. So a good 2 hours on my day, a good an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. So I don't need that nonsense coming my way. I really sat down after I did the video and I was like, hold on. I deeped it. I was thinking to myself, hold on. I put all this energy and time to do these reviews. Like, I'm out here cutting, chopping, editing, helping to give you guys some publicity. Not that I'm huge on YouTube, because I'm not. I'm not huge in this. When I say publicity, I'm not saying I'm giving you 100k views. I'm giving you shit views. But at the same time, I'm somewhat helping you, because people have commented saying that they watch it because of my reviews. They've said that themselves. So there is a portion, a very small portion of people anyways. And I'm giving my time and energy to do this, and when you cut stuff and when you process it and when you want to put things together, it can take some time. Time flies. Next thing you know, an hour and a half is gone. And I'm getting this backlash in response. Are you mad? Let me know what cocaine you're on so we can join you, please. Because I really deep down, I thought, hold on, I'm not a victim. It's not going to happen. Because really and truly, half of the cast liked his comments, whether it was Idris, whether it was Jalissa, who I haven't even spoken about in my life, but she's out here doing the most liking comments. Then you got Nadia liking comments as well, and I'm thinking, right, you know, like Mad Sing is the whole cast. Like it really is. Like the whole cast are doing most. So if I continue to see any nonsense like that, not in terms of comments because people are allowed to express their views, but anytime people making videos and so forth and doing the absolute most, I'm done with the show completely. I'm just letting everybody know that now. Let's just get into this because I'm really not taking shit from anyone. Anyways, interesting topic, but as I said, I feel like Esther was doing too much. We did not need her to be on the show. Again, when I saw her, I was like, what are you doing? Again, I feel like she was doing the most as well. She was there for the first episode and that was absolutely fine. I like that bridge. I told you it was a great marketing tool. Good on Bkchat for doing so because we need that bridge to kind of link and transition, an easier transition to the New York cast. And I liked it, and I feel like she was on point in the last episode. She was very articulate, maybe because she has experience with the kid and so forth. But now it's like every day I'm in London, from London. I feel like, you know, maybe there's a stripper culture that is glorified in America, but at the same time, the way she was describing it as London, it wasn't that deep. Like the way you said you'll get locked off and so forth, you know, people won't rate you. You know, I feel like she's only describing her environment. You can only describe within your means of your environment. How could you say people can only spend within their means, but for some reason she can explain everything about London? Surely you can only explain what's within your means. That's the only reason you can explain. So that was a very somewhat contradiction that I feel like she made. A somewhat small contradiction that I felt like she made. It just didn't make sense to me as to why I feel like she constantly had this urge, this feeling to represent London. Like, you're not the only Londoner in there, there's somebody else in there as well who's from London. But at the same time, this is not a debate about London, so can you please just stop mentioning this? It didn't make sense, but you can add to the conversation without talking about how it is in your city and so forth. Anyways, we have Ewan. Now, I feel like Ewan, as I said, I'm very keen to hear his ideas, and I do feel like he did come through. I feel like he was making a lot of sense.
Special, but it's not rare. Every other chick is walking around with one. And that is like the most valuable. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. What else you got? 3 billion pussies. 3 billion. Yours ain't shit.
When it comes to the idea of the fact that if you are a stripper, whatever, you are making poor life points, you are not going in the right direction and so forth. And I feel like he was very straight to the point, very cutthroat, very there, and no shade, no tea. I did peep him rolling his eyes when it came to the slavery comment by Osazi, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you making that eye roll? Like, what are you doing? Because really and truly, like, it was a point that felt like someone needed to address that, and I feel like you throwing some form of annoyance can only look bad on you.
Culture looks down on certain things. Let's not act like certain cultures don't have problematic ways of thinking. At one point in American culture, it was okay to own black people. That was part of American culture.
And then we have Osaze, who I feel like, again, he was making very good points, especially with the culture points.
Yeah, we can't have this double standard that men can be as sexual and women can't. My thing is that people...
And the whole idea of different standards, of male or female, the double standards, and the whole idea of cultures, and how there are problems within cultures. That problem in itself has never really been addressed in the entirety of Bkchat. So that was a great point that he made. But what I really liked was the whole idea of how Ewan, Daisy, and Osaze, all three of them, were just linking off each other. And I really liked that. They were just bouncing off each other constantly. And Daisy was kind of, you know, jumping off questions from Ewan, and then Ewan's kind of answering them back. And then they were asking each other questions. And then obviously Osaze was doing the same thing.
For the public.
Okay, question 2. Would you be okay with your daughter stripping?
Hell fucking no.
I also would not be okay with my daughter stripping, not because, hold on, let me answer, not because I shame strippers, but...
On Osaze with the double standards, of course it's going to be double standards because men and women are not exactly identical, they're not the same, they're different.
Have different roles and different responsibilities and different strengths. So calling it a double standard is kind of weak.
So I do feel like these three were providing a very great intellectual conversation, and we have Miss Esther, shout out London Nonsense. We have Jalissa, who I feel like was just being herself. She's been a very relatable in the fact that she was literally just being herself. There was no shame in the whole idea of, you know, I want to strip, you know, that kind of refreshing kind of form.
In a situation where I needed money that fast, I wouldn't mind stripping. Like, yeah, I'm comfortable with my body. I'm gonna get it. So
I do feel like that was quite refreshing to see. We have Flea, who I feel like was very confused, unfortunately. I felt like when I saw the teaser, I was like, okay, this guy, you know, he's making sense in terms of the fact that we should not be judging people for their hustles and so forth. But then when you're bringing out Jesus and him throwing, and he didn't throw rocks at strippers, I'm just thinking, what are you doing? That in trying to somewhat justify stripping with religion just would not work. It does not make any sense. So I was thinking, I was very confused throughout the entire episode. And we have Lukman, who I felt like was adding that light comical element to the episode. He was making small comments about how he can't take this and so forth, being a bit funny, and I did feel like that comical element from Lookman was definitely needed in the show to give it that light heart feel. So hats off to him because I did really enjoy that.
I can't listen to all this. It's affecting me. My chest is paining me.
We have Nadia, who was actually being quite quiet, but what I do like her, especially, she speaks a lot of sense in her interviews, more so than in the actual show. Maybe it's just due to nerves or so forth, or that she prefers to be quiet, I don't know. But I like the whole idea of how she's very coherent in her interviews, and she kind of really just spreads things out. The whole idea of the baby mama stigmatism was very, very good as well, that she really brought out in the interviews. But what we see in the interviews, we don't really see face to face in the groups. Maybe because she prefers to be quiet in a room, who knows. And we have Bkchat who wasn't as loud in this episode, and you know, she kept, I liked when she was asking questions in relation to when she was asking the guys, would you be male stripper? She kind of flipped it, and I do appreciate her. I did appreciate that kind of comment, because I like it when people ask other people questions, because it makes people think. The Bible says you can't do this, but then you can do this. The picking and choosing nonsense, like that in itself, I kind of agree and disagree with, because picking and choosing, we shouldn't be doing it. But then at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect at the end of the day. Like, you can make one mistake. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should make all mistakes. So that in itself may be seen as picking and choosing, but really and truly, nobody's perfect. It is what it is. And you know, even when Esther started talking, she was talking about surgery and so forth. And I was like, listen, this is not a campfire. We don't need your stories, please. We're not sitting on a campfire all cold and intense, you know, with torches in our hands for you to be talking about your life story. We don't need this. There's no correlation with the whole idea of surgery. And you know, it's just, I feel like she was doing a bit too much, and I don't want her to be on further episodes. One episode was good enough. Calm yourself down. I feel like Adeza made a great point about the whole idea of social media that nobody else really raised, and had the impact it can have, and that the severity of it as well.
Now it's because before it was taboo, but social media has a huge role in making stripping. Why? Because the strippers have all the money, they have all the attention, they have the bodies. And
that it does really glorify strippers because they see all this money and so forth, and everybody wants to emulate that. Therefore, there's this positive perception to stripping as opposed to a couple of years ago and so forth. Although I did kind of like what Flea was saying when he was talking about the whole idea of a stripper therapist. At first I was like, what are you talking about? But then if you really think about it, some people do go to stripping because they want to, you know, relieve stress, that tension. They just want to, some people have different ways of doing so, and that could be a way. So I liked how he brought that pathway to a light when it came to this conversation. And you know, fleeing this coochie mileage nonsense, like I've already commented on it before, and like it just doesn't make sense to me, so I didn't really understand that point, unfortunately. Like it just, there's no sense to that at all. And then you have Rashad as well, who again was making his points, was very clear and expressing them in a very positive way, so I like that as well. But yeah, this is my smaller review on this particular episode. In my opinion, like, you know how cutthroat I am, this show needs to end as soon as possible. No shade, no tea. Bkchat Nyc needs to end, because really and truly everybody wants Bachelor to come back. This show did not bang as much as we thought it would bang, unfortunately, and the views are great, accurate representation of that. The fact that it took you an hour to get 1k views, and it was not like that when it comes to Bachelor London, and we all damn know that, because let's be real, when Bkchat London dropped every evening on that Wednesday or Thursday, it was #1 trending on Twitter. I had to avoid Twitter because I didn't want to watch it some nights, so I had to avoid the entire app because it was trending and everybody's talking about it. So I'm just letting you lot know that we have to remember that, and really and truly everybody wants to show back. Like, I'm just cutthroat. Not that I feel like it's anybody's fault on Bkchat Nyc's cast. It's none of their faults. It's just the show just didn't bang. The audience wasn't relating to it as much. The differences were too much. We just didn't like it as an audience. That is just that is a bitter truth. So I just feel like I need to be as honest as possible, like I've always have been, and being honest is great. It's healthy communication, and it gets the point across ASAP. So that was my smaller review. I liked you, and I feel like he was on fire. But the eye rolling with the slavery comment, what are you doing? Osaze as well, I like the double standards points and the cultural points are very good. Adeze, especially you as well, I feel like you're very clear and coherent. Social media point was great, and how you and Adeze and Osaze kind of bounced off each other was very intellectual. Esther, you're doing way too much. We don't need your stories. It's not a campfire. You know, we don't need the surgery nonsense. Everyday London. Like, just calm yourself down. It's not every day compared New York and London. It's just not every day. Flea, I feel like you're very confused. The whole idea of comparing Jesus throwing rocks at strippers or whatever. But at the same time, I did understand some points when you're talking about it's a hustle and, you know, people got to do what they got to do. But Ewan did bring light that there are plenty of other jobs. In fact, Nadia was just a bit too quiet, unfortunately, but she was great in her interviews as per se. Jalissa, I feel like she was very refreshing, which was very nice as well. So yeah, it is what it is. The other characters just did not stand out for me as much, unfortunately. I did like Lookman's comical element to the show as well. But thank you guys for watching my smaller review. Let me know what you guys think. As you guys know, I read all your comments. Did you like the characters? Did you not like the characters? What do you think of the show? Do you think that it's dying out? Look at the views and so forth. What are your opinions? Do you want Bachelor to come back as soon as possible? Do you want them to go somewhere else? Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comment box below. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your week. Make sure it's productive, and I will definitely catch you guys soon. See ya!